Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a GST form that can honestly save you a ton of time and money, GSTR-2A. Now, I want you to think of it less as a piece of boring compliance and more like your business's automated purchase report card. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you a quick question. Does this sound familiar? You're trying to track every single input tax credit from all your purchases, and it's just a huge headache. It's a really common pain point for so many businesses. But you know what? The GST system actually has a way to help.
And this is it. The system has an automated solution built specifically to tackle that problem. It's called Form GSTR-2A, and I promise you, it's not another burden. It's a tool designed to make your life a whole lot easier.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what GSTR-2A actually is. Then, we'll see where all its data comes from. We'll peek inside the form itself, cover the real-world do's and don'ts, and wrap up with a couple of key rules you'll want to remember. Let's get started.
All right, first things first. What in the world is GSTR-2A? Let's break it down to its simple meaning. At its heart, GSTR-2A is a statement that the GST system creates for you. The two most important words there are system-generated and read-only. It's basically a running list of every single purchase your business made during a tax period. And the best part? The system does all the heavy lifting. So, just to be super clear, the GST portal prepares this automatically. It's a live document, which means it's always updating as your suppliers file their returns. And remember this, it's read-only. You can't change it or file it. That's why that report card analogy is so perfect. It's just there to give you the facts.
Okay, so if you're not creating it, where does all this information come from? Let's jump into our next section and follow the data trail to see exactly how your GSTR-2A gets put together.
So the data flows in from four main places. It all starts with your suppliers when they file their regular sales returns. Then you've got your ISD, which is basically when your head office splits up shared tax credits. After that comes TDS and TCS. And finally, data gets pulled in from customs for anything you've imported. So, the most common source is also the simplest. Let's say your supplier, ABC Traders, sells you some steel. When they upload that invoice to their sales return, their GSTR1, boom, it automatically shows up in your GSTR-2A. It's a direct connection. The other sources work pretty much the same way. If your head office sends you some credit for shared services, that comes from their GSTR6. If a government client deducts tax for you, that's TDS. It pops up from their GSTR7. And if you sell stuff on Amazon, their TCS filing shows up from a GSTR8. And the last piece of this puzzle is imports. It doesn't matter if you're bringing in machinery from Germany or buying from a special economic zone right here in India. The data from your bill of entry is pulled right from the customs portal, called ICEGATE, and lands straight into your GSTR-2A. Okay, so we know where the data comes from. Now let's pop the hood and actually take a look at the form itself. What's it really look like inside?
You know, the form is actually laid out really logically. It's split into 4 clean parts, and each part matches up perfectly with the data sources we just talked about. Part A is for your regular suppliers, Part B is for those ISD credits, Part C is for TDS and TCS, and Part D is just for your import data. See? Simple and organized.
And now for the big one. How do you actually use this thing? Let's get into the practical, day-to-day do's and don'ts of your GSTR-2A.
This makes it crystal clear. What you absolutely should be doing is viewing and downloading this data. Its main job is to help you with reconciliation. That means comparing the government's record with your own purchase books to spot any differences. What you can't do is file it, edit it, or add anything that's missing. It's a reference tool, not a filing form.
So this brings up a really common, real-world question. You're going through your GSTR-2A and you spot a mistake. Maybe the invoice amount is wrong. What do you do?
The answer is simple, but super important. You have to go back to the source. Since you can't edit GSTR-2A yourself, you need to reach out to your supplier and have them fix the mistake in their GSTR1. As soon as they do, that correction will automatically flow through and update on your end.
Now, here's a quick pro tip, especially for businesses with a lot of transactions. The GST portal has a limit on how many invoices it can show you on the screen at one time, and that number is 500.
So if you've got more than 500 invoices in a single month, you won't be able to see them all online. But don't worry, there's a simple workaround. You just download the JSON file and open it with the government's GST Returns offline tool. That'll let you see and work with all your data, no matter how much there is.
All right, for our last section, let's zoom in on one specific area that can sometimes cause a little bit of confusion: the rules around when your import data actually shows up.
This timeline really helps explain a crucial idea called the reference date. See, the date that matters for GSTR-2A isn't when the bill of entry was filed. It's the date customs actually cleared the goods. So in this example, a bill filed on March 28th that only got cleared on April 2nd is going to show up in your April GSTR-2A, not in March's.
And what if customs changes the details later? Well, the portal makes it really easy to see that. You just look for the word yes in the amended column. You can even click on that yes to see the original details and get the full story of what was changed. So let's wrap this all up with the one big takeaway. GSTR-2A is your live, read-only purchase register. It's built for you automatically from all those different sources, and its main job is to help you track and reconcile your input tax credit so you can make sure you're getting every penny you're owed.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you know what this powerful tool is and how it works, are you sure your business is using GSTR-2A to its absolute full potential? Are you making sure every single rupee of tax credit is being properly accounted for? Thanks for joining us.